Hello and welcome everybody. Janet Becker's here and I'm really excited to welcome you to my lovely friend Tracy Mathews. Hey Tracy.
Hey Janet, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now Tracy and I got to know each other really well for a mastermind group that we were both in for a year, where I got the opportunity, I traveled to the US for 2 out of 12 months. I was in the US traveling, exploring while I was there, and the biggest highlights for me were the amazing people who I got to meet through this group. And Tracy really stood out for me, apart from, as you'll get to meet.
Thanks, Janet.
As you'll get to meet, I mean, Tracy's just so real and really positive and enthusiastic. But also, I just loved watching you, Tracy, where you would go, you know what, I'm going to do this to be able to, I'm going to trial out this marketing strategy. I'm going to try out this strategy with my tribe of clients to see if this helps them with engagement. You're never content to just go, well, this is what I've always done, I'm going to keep on just doing that.
Oh no, I'm an innovator.
Right. Yeah, I know, and that was fantastic and really, really open about, well, I tried doing this, it didn't work, but I tried doing this, and this was awesome, look at this great result. So for me, as somebody who, I love that creativity part of business, to see you embracing that with so much enthusiasm but also so much authenticity makes you a really fantastic person to watch as well as to get to know. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Janet. Well, you're always such a vibrant, energetic person in the community too. And I always learned so much from you being in that group as well. And, I think we have a similar outlook on life because we're both very positive people. We love and honor people. And it's just, we loved being in that tribe, and it's just great that you're nurturing your tribe too, because this is the way that we all grow together as entrepreneurs, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's and then the tribes is, of course, the big reason why I'm passionate about what I do. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So what I've done is I've invited Tracy along, apart from, her a great approach that she has for leading in her business. And also because there's a lot of people who listen to this podcast that are in a creative field. They are either creative people who can't help but approach things in a creative way, or the actual work that they do is creative. So can you tell us quickly about, who it is that you serve and how do you do that?
Absolutely. So I am Tracy Mathews, as Janet said. I serve the jewelry industry. So I teach independent jewelry brands to grow their business with practical business and marketing skills. And we help them launch, grow, and scale based on wherever they are in their business. And I do that through online courses, through a monthly membership, and then we also have a high-level coaching program. And one of my favorite things to do is my podcast, Thrive by Design, which it started out as just for jewelry designers, and now it's really just for creative visionaries because it's for those people who have amazing ideas and they want to get their voice heard out in the world, and really want to get the right support so that they can move a little bit faster. And it's exactly what I needed when I was starting out, and that's why I do it, because I love it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the nice part that I've got to know from just hearing from behind the scenes how you run your business is you have a really quite a thriving community, because your business is it's Flourish Thrive Academy is like your and that also describes the culture, it seems, of the people who are attracted to be your clients, because there is that real sense of a real engagement that is happening within your community. Would that be right from you actually being in it? Does it feel that way?
Well, absolutely. So, one of the things that for me that's really important, I'm an extreme extrovert. I like being around people. I like engaging people. I like having conversations with people. I feel like video has been one of my strongest mediums in getting my message to people. Yeah. And I use video a lot actually to engage with my tribe because I think it's really important. But for me, keeping that engagement going is where you get results, because especially, I don't know if you felt this way, Janet, But I know as a creative visionary and someone who started as an entrepreneur over 25 years ago in the 90s and built a business without much anything like there is online today before the internet was even started, that the one thing that I felt like I was lacking always was support. And so I feel like community is one of the ways to do that. Some of the core values of our company, Flourish and Thrive Academy, is like my number one core value is really to have fun. So I feel like everything should be fun when you're actually learning it and doing it.
Yeah.
And another core value is to always be learning. And so when you're always learning, you're able to innovate and sort of stay ahead of the curve. And so I think that these things have allowed us to build a really strong community because they're leaning on one another, but we're always kind of like pushing them, and I'm pushing myself continually out of my comfort zone to help, create that support and engagement, not only in our groups, but with our even wider audience as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, am I picking up on that point about pushing yourself and out of your comfort zone and that learning? Let's go back a few years ago about why you started the business, because you're a jeweler, so you already had a successful business, and you still have a successful jewelry business, don't you?
Yes. So I have a successful jewelry business. I'm a private jeweler here in New York City, or I call myself a jewelry designer because I'm not actually physically making the jewelry anymore.
Right.
And I'm not time for that. But, I love it. I have a passion for jewelry. I love working with customers. In fact, I have a customer coming over tonight, which is super awesome. And I had a great business. But one of the things that I felt like was happening to me as I was kind of moving in the second iteration of my business was that I had this desire to like give back and help others. And it started with people kind of reaching out to me for consulting packages. And long story short, I'm not going to go into the weeds here. This was sort of like the impetus and the idea for me starting Flourish and Thrive Academy, because I was thinking back to when I first started my first business and trying to get that support and consulting help, but I didn't know where to go. And the people that were around were, it wasn't really a right fit in the respect of budget and also the respect of like their industry experience. And so I wanted to just test this idea and really push myself out of my comfort zone because people were asking me for help and I knew that I could help them. So I took it. I don't think it was really a gamble in a sense, but I wanted to make sure that this was a proven idea because I already had a successful business. And I knew that if I was going to put energy into growing an education platform and really helping people, that I was going to do it 100%. So I wanted to make sure that this was the right fit because I knew that meant I would have to step away from my jewelry business a little bit and that I wouldn't be able to give it as much love as, and when I say that, I just want to be able to, I would be limited in the number of clients that I could take on.
Yeah.
So I've given them great service, but you know what I mean? So I was talking to my co-founder. I co-founded the company with my friend, Robin Kramer. She's still involved in the business, but I'm the chief visionary officer now. And she's kind of doing her own coaching program for wholesale on the side. And when we started, I said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to consult with a launch manager. I want someone who already knows what they're doing to tell us the steps and what it's going to entail before I dive in, because I want to know what I'm getting into, and I want someone to tell me exactly what to do because I don't want to waste my time trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And she said, you should pre-sell the course. And so I was like, all right, let's do this. So we got an opt-in in. We spent 3 weeks building our, doing lead generation in a Facebook group and doing random social media. We got 300 people on our list just by like reaching out to people that we knew. And we did a beta launch of the program, doing a pre-sale, and we sold like 20 slots to the program. And we told them that we would deliver in September. So we had about 6 or 8 weeks to get that done. We did an official launch in September, and we had 50 people total take our program at the first get-go. And so we knew that we had an idea. I told Robin that we weren't going to move forward because we were both working for free in the beginning. We weren't going to move forward until we weren't going to move forward if after 6 months, we didn't turn a profit. And within the first 6 months, we turned a profit. We made our first $6,000, which I was very proud of. And then we launched our program and fully in January of the following year. So we spent 6 months, like from the middle of the year to January, building it. And that January, we had 125 people join our program for a different price point, so much higher.
Yeah.
So it was great. Like, we knew that we had something. We knew that it was good. Many of our first students 6 years ago are coaches in our programs now, which is pretty awesome because they've learned so much from us.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing way to sort of leverage what we teach and leverage myself, because they know everything that I teach and I don't have to be the only person teaching it, which is awesome.
Yeah. There's a couple of things there that I really want to point out to people who are listening, is because a really core part about this particular podcast is, I want you to take action. So there's a few really important action points there that Tracy's mentioned that really make a difference between if you're going to be a person who's got an idea and let's get this happening, to a person who actually is positioning themselves like, you know what, I'm going to build a tribe and I'm going to be the leader. And there were a couple of things. One was having that reality check of, I have an existing business. I'm only going to do this if it makes me the money. I'm not going to hold on to this because it's my love, it's my passion. I'm going into this with the mindset of a CEO. And so I think that's a big thing that a lot of people miss. They'll just go in going, yeah, this could work, it couldn't work. Yours was, it's going to work in this time, and I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to get somebody that can get me there. That makes a huge difference. And
oh my gosh, it saves so much time. I can't even if that's all anyone does is just have someone tell them what to do. People balk at investing in programs or coaches or consultants. Yeah. It is the best spent money ever. Like, I will always continue. I mean, we were spending tens of thousands of dollars to be in a mastermind group, and my business tripled while I was in that group and put me over 7 figures. And so I say that because without that group, I know that wouldn't have happened, because the ideas and the guidance and the camaraderie and the support that I got from that group helped me get to my next level. So at any level in business that you are, like, you're always going to need those people that kind of push you beyond what you know, and you'll move so much faster. And I always say, like, invest in your business, invest in yourself, because who wants to waste their time figuring it out, like doing tech stuff, when you're not good at that? Or
absolutely. It's one of those things that you feel like you're doing your business stuff because you're being really, really busy working out how to add a plugin on your WordPress site. Like, really, no, that's much more better if you're going to actually be approaching this as a business. So that's a really important step. Why Tracy is the person who succeeded in this niche and continues to succeed, rather than being one of the many others who thought, this is a great idea. And the other thing that I really think is an important thing for people to notice here, I absolutely love how you shared that you didn't try to go out and find the most sophisticated, complicated way to start building your mailing list. And that if I didn't have you used your existing network, you used your relationships. And with 300 people, that was enough for you to launch to do proof of concept.
Yep.
That is such a huge lesson for so many people, because they'll go, a lot of times people will go, look, I need an evergreen webinar, and they haven't even tested every single thing that is happening. Is there actually a demand? Have I got the offer right? Whereas you've just demonstrated so beautifully, Tracy, that, what, you've got your existing relationships. Ask people to share things. Just ask people. It's really, really simple. It's not glamorous. It's not fully automated, but look where it led you.
And I also think in this day and age, depending on what the offer is, sometimes like having that personal touch and like reaching out individually makes such a bigger impact to someone saying yes, especially if you're selling high ticket, than trying to automate everything. I mean, we just had a launch recently and we were trying to just capture some more numbers. So we were doing some like really unsophisticated things to just have conversations with people to invite them into the program, because we wanted to get a couple more people in there, like 10 people. And so I personally spent time DMing people, because I know how to address like what their objections were going to be and help them overcome it so that they would just take the leap. Yeah. And while I don't do that all the time, because I don't have the time to do that, nor do I, my fingers hurt on my phone. DMing Instagram people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it adds this personal touch that I know some of those people will be fans for life because of that, because they're actually talking.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's brilliant. That's really good. And it's bringing out that even if you've got a lot of support team, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, and you may already have a lot of stuff already automated, recognizing that even when you're not just in startup, that the conversations are really, really important is another great lesson for people to take. Don't feel that if you're actually having conversations with people, if you're getting on the phone or if you're doing it by private message, that you're not sophisticated enough, that you're kind of playing small game. As a lot of people seem to think that's actually how the sales happen. So it's really nice to hear you say that at the beginning and also at this stage where you're doing so, so well. Now, there's another thing that I'd really like to talk about, because this is something that you do really well, Tracy, is with tribes, and we've talked about, that engagement that you have, but you've got a jewelry business, like you're consulting straight after here with a jewel, designing, jewelry design.
Yep.
You also have this, successful and continuing to grow and flourish, beautiful community around the coaching. Now, I love how, I'd like to spend just a little bit of time talking about how on earth do you manage to keep that engagement going with so little time? I mean, there's only so much, Tracy, to spread around, and you've already said you're the chief visionary
I am.
officer. So you're not the chief officer. You're the chief visionary officer. So how do you do that? How do you keep that engagement and still not have to make everything being done by you?
Jen, I look forward to the day when I don't have to call myself the CEO of this company anymore, because that's not where my brilliance is. Really coming up with ideas and working on the big relationships and inspiring people to take action and sharing my stories and how those stories relate to business ideas. That's why I love my podcast so much. And I realized a long time ago, because I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 years, that the people you surround yourself with are a direct correlation of how successful you will be. And so I learned a lesson the hard way in my first business, that I probably needed to restructure and hire some different people. And I didn't. I kept the wrong people on my team for a while. And I love them all for different reasons. But, as Ryan, our mentor, used to say all the time, the people that got you where you are aren't the people who will always get you to the next level. Yeah. So I worked really hard to build myself an amazing team. And the team comes in a lot of forms, because when we first launched a high-level coaching program / mastermind group for Flourish and Thrive Academy, it was just me and my co-founder coaching. And I realized that one-on-one coaching, while I liked it when it was like the right fit, wasn't like always my jam, whereas Robin really loved it. And I'm always thinking of like, how can I scale this and leverage the people who are best at doing X, Y, and Z? Because I know that I'm not good at everything, and I'm okay with not being good at everything. Yeah. In fact, I tell people that I'm not good at that if I can't do it. And so I spent a lot of time, and it's been definitely a progression. We started with our internal core team. I have someone who actually runs the business with me. She's my business manager, and she kind of stepped into that role about 1.5 years or 2 years ago when she came back from maternity leave after being with the company for a while. And that's been a game changer for me, because it's helped me manage fewer people so I can do what I'm best at, come up with marketing strategy and creative ideas. But more than anything, around about 2 years ago, I hired a couple of other core team members. One of them was a launch manager. Another one was a community manager, and another one was a writer, because those were all things that I was doing. I was spending a lot of time writing. I was spending a lot of time figuring out how to launch things, and also managing the community. And being able to make that investment in team, and we started just small with smaller hours, but they all were willing to take on more hours as we grew, helped free up my time enough, because they were doing some of the heavy lifting that I didn't necessarily need to do. And now we have a system set up where, I know exactly where I need to be I know when I'm going to be responding and commenting on things. And it gave me the space to think about how I could structure the new group when we decided that we were not going to continue with our version of our mastermind program, to create a coaching group around exactly what people needed that was really going to be best served if we hired coaches. And many of them are actually our former students. And so basically we have about 15 coaches in our high-level coaching program. They all have other businesses, and a lot of them are agencies or businesses, or they're jewelry designers themselves who have done something really well, and now they're teaching other people how to do it. And it's been pretty incredible. And that's allowed me to offer amazing service to the people who are investing at our highest level. It's allowed them to get amazing value. We are about to go out for our first round of renewal. The program's been around for less than a year. The official renewal date is January 1st, but we did an intake like around October of last year.
Right. And
we did a little like intake survey. We have 80% of the original people who joined want to continue. And to me, that's a huge win. Because that means that they're getting results, and enough results that they want to continue getting that support. And so it's been really exciting for me to see how building the right team around you and really stepping into what I'm best at, which is doing the high level stuff. Coming up with ideas has allowed the business to grow. And I look forward to more growth when I can really do that more. And we're working on that right now with the team. So it's exciting and it's fun. And we were talking about when you're restructuring that sometimes it's a lot of work. And I'm up for the challenge because I'm excited to see what happens on the other side, because I know that that's how you deliver. That's how you really deliver your brilliance to your tribe. And step into what you're best at. And everyone's got their thing, you know. And for me, it's talking a lot and showing up on video and doing a podcast. So which is kind of like my vibe as well. So I really get that. And you know what I just absolutely loved, and this is, you know, for people who are listening about what you can take to do that in your business, is there's a couple of things there that I thought were really powerful lessons. Number one was like knowing what you're good at, and that you were just really happy to not be, you know, oh my gosh,
acknowledge that you don't need to do everything. And then the other thing that I thought was really powerful was a lot of times people think they need that one person, and that they've got to bring that one person on full time who's going to be their 2IC, who's going to do basically everything that I don't want to do. And they're always looking for this Holy Grail, this person who really never ever exists. I love how you went, I need someone to do this, and just brought them on for a few hours each to start with, and then built from there. That just means that you can free yourself up so much. But it doesn't have to be something that means I have to have reached this stage before I can possibly afford to bring somebody else on. It's a really smart way to do it, I think, Tracy.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I used to make the mistake of trying to hire someone to be everything to everyone. And when you're running a small business, you know, sometimes, most of the time, you don't have full-time hours for people until you're doing like multiple figures, quite honestly. Like, you just don't, unless, I mean, in my jewelry business, in the first one, like I needed full-time production work, but oftentimes it was patched together by part-time work with a bunch of students because they were going to school and learning. So there are different solutions out there that I think people don't think about how you can get stuff on your plate. You can also hire people just for a project. It doesn't have to be ongoing. And if I can leave you with anything, like if it's the one thing, it's that you suck at a lot of things in your business. And it's okay. And I don't want you to have any shame about that. But the best thing that you could ever do is to get people in who can take that stuff off your plate as soon as you possibly can. Even in the short term, if it means you not getting paid as much and you're taking out, I don't want to say taking out the profits, but taking out maybe just like a slight little bit out of what you might pay yourself. Only because like that will allow you to focus on the things that are actually going to help you bring more money in, like the sales, which as the CEOs or the CVOs, as I like to say, the chief visionaries, you are always going to be the best salesperson for your brand. Until you train another salesperson to do that for you. And that has been the case my entire life. It doesn't matter what business I've been in. I've been the number one salesperson for all of my businesses.
Right.
When someone else tried to sell, like they never sold as much. So it just doesn't work.
That's so good. Yeah.
And so just if you can think about that, like if you were focused, if you're spending all this time doing $5 to $15 an hour tasks, if you freed that time up to focus on the $500 to $1,000 tasks, an hour tasks, how would you be able to grow faster? And, because if you don't, you're always going to be a big bottleneck for your business, and you're going to stunt your growth, and you won't be able to grow as quickly or get to the place where you really want to be.
Yeah. That is a really perfect note for us to finish on, I think, is that big lesson of, stepping up and deciding that, I am the leader, I am the chief visionary officer. I love that term. I'm going to use that.
Use it. Please, we're on a mission. Chief visionaries.
Yeah. No CEOs. We have the CVOs. Yeah. I mean, just having that decision of, if I'm going to step up, then absolutely. I'm going to have to get a support team. And I love that thing of just bringing them in for a few hours and make it happen is really, really powerful. So I'm so grateful for your time today, Tracy. And
it's been so fun, Janet.
Yeah, and so for everybody that's listening, for them now, how are they going to stay in Tracy's world? What's the best place for them to go and find you and to connect?
So the best places are, you can find me on Instagram at Tracy Mathews, New York. I know Janet will link it in the show notes, but my name is TracyMathews, at the end. Or come to the Thrive by Design podcast. I launched it really for jewelry designers, but I've been told over and over, it's it's overall great business advice for people who are visionaries or creatives, because I speak through my lens of getting support, hiring the right team, figuring your way around marketing strategy, and coming up with innovative ideas. Because in my opinion, it's the innovators, the people who stay ahead of the curve and are testing something different and not resting on their laurels, maybe is a good way to put it, who are the ones that thrive and continue to succeed. And so we talk a lot about fun stuff like that, and I'd love to invite you to listen. And you could just check it out on iTunes. It's called Thrive by Design, or anywhere podcasts are served. That's brilliant. So we'll put links down to, if you're listening to this over on iTunes, come over to the Romance Your Tribe website, romanceyourtribe.com, and you can see all of our podcasts there, and you'll find Tracy, and you will see there it's got, I'll put links to everything. So there'll be links to Instagram, to the podcast, over to Tracy's websites, and so you can go and connect with Tracy, because having a world with Tracy, will be much richer for you. So thanks, Janet.
Thanks for your time. And one of the best things that you can do if you're listening to this podcast is, Tracy and I taking the time out to it was a great opportunity for us to catch up, but also give some feedback. So go and tell Tracy what action you have taken this week.
I'd love that.
Result of you listening to her advice today. That is one of the best feedbacks that you can give. So bye, everybody. And thank you so much, Tracy, for your time. And I'm going to let you go now to go and design jewelry with this lucky client
coming
over.
Thanks, Shannon. Thanks for having me.
Bye, everybody.